So, what are the best mortgages for NHS staff? Let's find out. So it's really important to say there's no one-size-fits-all type of mortgage that's best for NHS staff. The best mortgage for you will depend on your own circumstances, your deposit, your credit report, your income proof. Saying that, for NHS staff specifically, you may want to pursue a lender that allows for overtime usage or night pay, weekend pay, promotions through the pay bands. There's quite a few different factors that might apply to NHS workers specifically, but it does differ from lender to lender. So the best type of mortgage for you as an NHS worker will depend on your requirements and your plans for the future. So there's normally fixed, variable, tracker or discount mortgages available to NHS staff. Fixed mortgages, you have a fixed period, normally for 2, 3, 5, or perhaps even 10 years. Your mortgage payments won't change and the interest rate is fixed for that period of time. During that time frame, you can normally make overpayments, up to 10% of the balance outstanding typically, without any early repayment charges. But if you pay beyond that point, early repayment charges are likely to apply and they can be quite costly. For example, with a 2-year fixed, it might be 2% of the mortgage balance. With a 5-year fixed or 10-year fixed, it might be 5% or more of the outstanding balance as an early repayment charge. If you don't want that charge, you might prefer a tracker or a variable deal. With the tracker rate mortgage, it tracks the Bank of England base rate. And typically there's no early repayment charges, so you can pay what you want. Same with a variable deal. However, with a standard variable mortgage, the interest rate is set by the lender at the lender's own discretion. So unlike a tracker, which tracks the Bank of England base rate, a variable, standard variable, is separate to that entirely. It's set at the lender's discretion and it can differ widely from lender to lender. And then lastly, you've got a discount rate. These discount deals aren't really too popular anymore in the market. It's a discounted deal of the standard variable rate offered by a lender. Again, these deals typically don't have early repayment charges, but it's always worth checking. But they're not too popular at this time because they are quite expensive compared to most trackers available. So whichever product is best for you really does depend on your circumstances. So you'll be pleased to know that most high street lenders will support NHS workers, but each lender can have different criteria and help you in different ways. So for example, HSBC, they're quite a flexible lender in terms of their income assessment for NHS workers. They may consider overtime and shift allowances that are regular and well evidenced, more so than perhaps other lenders. You've then got Nationwide, who, as a building society, they're pretty great and they're great for first-time buyers. And normally they help with affordability. So with their Helping Hand scheme, they might be able to offer up to 5.5 times your income as a maximum loan. Then you've got Barclays, who offer professional mortgages, so they might be able to offer, again, enhanced borrowing if you're deemed as a professional, which might be a doctor, dentist, someone with a certain medical qualification. You've got Halifax, who are known in the industry to be quite good for their low deposit options. So if you've just got 5% deposit or around that point, Halifax might be best in terms of the deal available. Again, it can differ from lender to lender, and actually these interest rates at the moment are updating very frequently, so it's not gospel that Halifax will be best when you come to look, but typically they tend to offer very good low deposit options. And then you've got Santander as an example, who are quite good for newly qualified professionals. So depending on your circumstances can dictate which lender is best. But like I said before, it's always best to consult with a broker like Boon Brokers to help you further. So I can say with some certainty that all mortgage lenders will accept an NHS worker's basic salary. That income is fixed, doesn't change on a monthly basis, and it's considered somewhat guaranteed by mortgage lenders. However, when it comes to overtime, shift pay, weekend pay, every lender is very different. Some lenders will accept 100% of your overtime, some might accept just 50%. What they typically do is they look at the last 3 months of your overtime income, they average those figures and they extrapolate it over a year. And whatever that extrapolation concludes is what they tend to use for an affordability assessment. Like I say, some lenders will use 100% of that figure, some might use 50%, or somewhere in between. It does differ from lender to lender, and some lenders sadly don't accept any overtime or any shift pay because they see it as variable and it's a bit of a risk, which is why going to a lender that suits your income is so important. Yes, you absolutely should use a broker for better lender access. You need to use, ideally, a whole of market broker who has access to virtually all deals in the UK. If you go and see your local bank branch and you walk in and you think that because you're a loyal customer, they're going to give you preferential rates, that is not true. Mortgage brokers have access to all the mortgage deals offered by these lenders, and often they have access to exclusive deals as well that won't be available to you if you walk into your local bank branch. So it's always worth talking to a whole of market, fee-free online mortgage broker like Boon Brokers. There's no cost in giving us a call and just checking to see what deal we can offer, and normally you'll be pleasantly surprised that we can give you a better deal than you can find yourself. Thank you for watching this video on how to get an NHS mortgage. At Boon Brokers, we're a fee-free, whole-of-market mortgage brokerage, and we'd be more than happy to help you with your mortgage requirements moving forwards. Just submit an inquiry and one of our brokers will be in touch. Also, read the guide below for more information and download our PDF guide if you want even more information and if you want to pass it to friends and family.